change your experience of your life here, doing yoga here? Or does it?
I believe it changes in many ways. As of experiencing this yoga class, this is my first time.
Oh.
But I'm in the process of reading a book that's called We're All Doing Time.
Oh.
And it expresses a lot of the breathing techniques, a lot of things that we were doing today.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of drew me into coming in here. A lot of people that I know that used to be real hyper, always frustrated, and that they've been doing yoga for a few years and they're at peace with themselves completely. It's like a whole different person.
Yeah.
And me myself, I'm trying to capture that.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's a whole different entity. The whole person's have all changed.
Yeah.
So they have an inner peace that I've been struggling to find and never knew how. And I believe this could be a format or a doorway for them.
Yeah, yeah. So cultivating inner peace and calm, and just so you know, you're in good company. I think we're all trying to do. Everyone is. It doesn't matter where you are and what you're doing. That journey is always about finding. Yeah. Anybody else want to say anything about that? And by the way, please know that everybody's contribution is really valuable and welcome, and there's no right or wrong answers.
It's like when you live in, like we live in a dorm with all those people, so it's always loud, there's always something going on, it's always just a bunch of chaos. When you come in here, it's like your mind frees from everything, and when you go back, you feel totally different. You know what I mean? It's like you feel your body feel clearer, you feel more energetic, you feel just relaxed and peaceful. Like he said, it's just like
all the stress is just.
I thought it my first time.
Say your name.
Oh, Deshaun DeWitt. When I first came, I was like, man, I ain't going to no yoga. And then other people was like, man, you going to yoga? But then when I came, I was like, damn, I feel totally different.
Right.
I feel, so after that, I've been coming ever since.
Yeah, yeah. And I know I think you were about to.
I was just like I said, it just gives you an inner peace and it keeps you, your mind from being stressful and depression. It helps your breathing a lot. I mean, I had asthma. I haven't used my inhaler since I used this class.
Oh wow,
so
great.
my breathing's a lot better too, and it's just a peace. You get a peace of mind, a way to think about. Like me, I use this time when I meditate or whatever to think about the good things and the qualities that are inside me, and what I can express to other people too.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a really.
Yeah. Anyway, were you going to say something there a minute ago?
I think I say your names when you talk. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this class is just like, even with your workouts, with everything, it helps out. Like, it just, that little meditation thing where you just think inside yourself and you're like, I can do this, and it gives you focus on everything you do and stuff. And it's like he says, when you first think about it, yoga, nah, I'm cool. But then once you start doing it, you start realizing, and it defeated me when I first got here. And I was like, no, I'm going back because I'm going to beat this. And I still haven't beat it yet, but I'm getting there. But yeah, it just helps you out in just everything, because it just gives you that little focus, that little thing that, you're opening your mind to other stuff, and that just helps us out here. So.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else want to say? Yeah.
Yeah, my name's Shannon. Paul. I started practicing about in February this year, and pretty much all my, I'm a life-term prisoner. I've been in prison for a long time, and all my life I was in competitive sports, from weight training to football to everything was a competition for me, and that's all I knew. And then I got into this yoga, and I went into it trying to be competitive once again. But as the years gone, and I practice 3 to 4 times a week. I have opportunity up in a different housing unit to practice, and it's through I've realized that it's not a competition with anybody. It's not even outside myself when I practice with other people, and it makes me aware of myself and getting in touch with me and how I'm feeling, how I'm breathing, how certain thoughts affect me. And there was a point in my practice where like everybody, you go to that point where you start panicking, and that's what I believe your poem was, you know, embrace that. Embrace that craziness, that mess, you know, and that's okay. That's what you got to get through, you know, and I've learned a lot of stuff about myself through yoga, and it's brought a lot of peace, a lot of clarity, emotional clarity, and I've had several injuries, you know, that were, you know, chronic pain, and it's taken away. You know, I feel a lot better, my neck, my legs, you know, and it's helped.
Awesome, thank you. What else? Who else wants to? Yeah.
What he was saying, like I was in martial arts as a kid, and it was really healthy and stuff, you know.
Sorry, can you say your name? I'm sorry, I should have reminded you to say your name. Your first
Michael.
name. Mike.
But I was really healthy as a kid and stuff, and I got old like 2 years ago, all of a sudden. And I mean, I came in here, and when I started with this, I was almost crippled, man. I could hardly even move. And it's been really rough, but you just stick with it, and it really relieves. Like I had sciatica, I have sciatica, and I have a herniated disc. I've got a lot of injuries, shoulder injuries and wounds, you know, all over. And it relieves the tension in my body enough to where the pain goes away for sometimes 2-3 days at a time. Once I learn it and start doing it more regularly, I think I'll be a lot better off, you know, just on the pain issues, because I got chronic pain bad, you know, my hips and back and neck and shoulders. But it really helps in that, and plus it makes you feel really a lot better. We walk around after this smiling and stuff. You see other people in there that's been in there and they're smiling, you know. It really helps. It's really nice. That's all.
Yeah. And so this is kind of a variation on the previous question, but what would you say yoga has taught you or is teaching you about yourself that you wouldn't have known you'd learn before you ever came to yoga? Or is it teaching you anything about yourself that you couldn't have foreseen? Yes. And what's your name?
My name is Max.
Max.
Well, I think it teaches you that like you can have peace and control yourself despite what you think you feel or whatnot, and that you can be in control of your life, even though sometimes it feels like the circumstances are against you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Teaches you your limitations and tries to push you past them too.
Yeah.
One thing it taught me was how closed-minded I was about certain things.
Right.
You know, and judgmental about new opportunities, and I'm more open to experiencing different things.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is my second week over here. I'm a level 3. And it's a bit motivation and it's disciplinary for me, you know. It's more focus, you know. It's a healthy recipe for me. It helps.
My name is Juan, and I think it's helped me overcome my pride, because you wouldn't imagine the stuff the homies say to you. You know, you going to yoga, and I think I've overstepped those boundaries as far as pride goes. You know, it's also helped me a lot, like have control over my emotions, and you know, take me away, like friends said back here, from the dorm. It's loud and hectic in there sometimes, and it's just kind of like delivers you from all that chaotic scene sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week we did over here, we did it, and I said we're gonna do the skull shot breathing, and then he was making a joke of it, and then by the end of it I made a reference, and I said, it looks like your skull's shining a little bit, or something like that, and
Nice.
it was funny. Yeah, it was just cool. So,
You know what
I
else
remember
too? In here, mostly everything is racially segregated. So in this class, there's somebody of every race. And then we all do everything together, you know what I mean? Everybody does the exercise. And this class is too, people think that when you look at it, you look at it like, oh, it's just a stretching or it's just, but it's really a workout too. So when you get done, it's like you did a real workout. Instead of running around doing the bars and everything else, it's like a exercise and a mind-free and mind-clearing all in one.
Yeah, double whammy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that it's interesting. So, how does practicing yoga here together affect how you interact with the other guys who maybe don't come to yoga, or does it affect your interactions in general in here?
Like I'm David Williams. Like I said earlier, most of my knowledge of yoga is from the book, so I only have the knowledge of the breathing techniques. I'm just not learning the stretching. But with the breathing techniques, it taught me a lot of restraint. That's the word I'm looking for, maybe. Because a lot of times where things that would easily set me off or get me to an emotional stage, dealing with another man, because you got 900 attitudes and different personalities to deal with in there.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where I can breathe and get over it quicker than having to react to it all the time. This is why it's so important for me now to get into the physical part of the yoga, because the mental part is just open a whole new window of my own understanding. Because like I was saying, it's just, in the book that I'm reading, it compares a lot of different great yoga teachers from the past and some of their sayings, and it's things that's enlightening to me. And if I can get that much out of just the mental part of it, what can I get out of the physical part? So it makes it like more of a hunger for me than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead.
My name's Eric. I think most of the people in this class are beyond the problems of the institution as far as not getting along with other people to begin with. Most of us who do yoga and enjoy it, we're not as short-sighted as some of the other people that don't. And if they won't come in here, they probably won't pick that up. They won't understand that aspect that they don't now. It teaches you, for me, it teaches me patience, and like Shannon said about being non-competitive or just competitive with yourself, personal best, and trying to understand things from an outward position, looking in on it. From doing yoga, I'm always seems to be looking in on things and not out at things. And I think that the guys that come in here are already kind of enlightened. That's why they go yoga, and they say, well, I'll try that anyway. Their mind's already open. They're into the union of yoga and of many things. And I think that when they get in here, they're prepared for whatever it's going to be, and they enjoy what aspect they do and the other things they let go of. But everyone in here, you can just tell everyone's already calm. When it's over with, it relaxes people. It relaxes people.
So, do you guys talk about yoga when you're not in here? Like, do you try and tell the other guys this is super cool, you should come, or do you just kind of let it be your own secret, so to speak?
I try to get more people to come every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we challenge them.
Or some people laugh when you going, like you said, like, you going to yoga, man, what's wrong with you? Like, and then when you come back feeling good and talking to them, and the next week they be like, man, I should go try it. Some people think they too hard to try it, but some people be like, man, I should go try it. You was happy, you was feeling way better, your mind was, what I mean? So I try to get more people to come, especially the people that think they too hard to come, so,
Yeah.
Yeah, we have people in here that do 1,000 burpees in there. They can't hang with this class and stuff. So it's like, when they come out, it's like, yeah, it was cool. It was cool, but yeah, are you coming back? I don't know. They do all them burpees, they do all them push-ups, but they can't sit here and do these classes and stuff because they sit there and they drop, and it's like, all right, yeah, see, I told you it wasn't that easy. So yeah, I mean, we tell everybody, but they don't really believe it until they see it. But then they do get curious when we talk about it because we are kind of excited about it and stuff. It's a different kind of class and stuff.
But it's not perceived as macho.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially among staff, and then you see guys like, we've got an earring in his ear right there. It doesn't make it any easier. No, the staff is the thing, You educate staff too. Don't record me, man. That's all right. I'm done.
This class is in large part thank you, Coach, and also Sherman for allowing this class to happen. If it wasn't for both of them, I don't know if I'd be able to do this class. Sherman has been an advocate for me from the lowest ground to the highest up, and Coach has given me a space and given me whatever I want to do here. He's been very willing to teach me the ropes and everything. But in terms of like what people learn, one of the biggest things I try to teach in the class, along with breath control, as I said, is ego. And being able to shed the ego at will. I mean, everybody has ego to some degree. You know, children, you know, there's ego formation period where which we learn about ourselves in the world. But oftentimes that same ego that helps us learn about the world hinders us. And I think a lot of dudes in here in particular have a big ego. You know, that's what happens all the time is people have big egos and it just gets in the way of everything. So when I teach a meditation and getting in touch with the soul, I say that who you are as a person is not your thoughts. Who you are as a person is not your emotions. And who you are as a person is not what you think your personality is, quote unquote personality. You know, so getting behind that and being able to shed those layers really helps you evolve as a person. And to me, it's all about evolution. So,
I have a question for you guys. You know, I have seen news stories before how they're opening up a new prison, for example, and they're spending $1 million on a yoga facility, and you know, for inmates, and what a waste of money. You know, I don't know if you've heard stories like that before, but like, what would you say to people who are maybe prejudiced about a yoga program in a prison? What would you say about what it's done for you? Like, how would you sell the case of, you know, expanding this as a bigger program here or a bigger program throughout the state?
Can I give an answer to that? You know, we live in a high tension world. It's full of tension. It's constant. And here you have a program that's trying to eliminate tension, how to get us personally to deal with our own tensions. And also, tension creates other diseases, you know, health factors, and I've had hypertension, hypothyroidism, and this is helping lower, without the medication, lower my own hypertension, and that's helped me tremendously because I don't want to be hooked on medicine. And when you're less tense, you're going to respond differently to situations and to other people. You're not going to just automatically snap at somebody. You're going to be able to think about, you know, the conflict and the consequences and the situations with each other. And also have a little possible empathy about the other, like you were talking about. That's the word, man. Thinking about somebody else and what they're going through. You know, they might be having a bad day and it just happened to rub off on you. Hey, don't make it worse, you know. And the meditation and the practice teaches you that. It teaches you to calm down. And
I say this class is so much of a stress reliever, tension reliever. I say that it's anger management, AA, all of those classes in one. Because it frees your mind of everything that's going on or everything that you're going through. It frees your mind, and it's medicine too because it helps your body and helps you function and move and do everything better. So I say that it's all of those different things combined into one in a different form.
It definitely is relaxing. I haven't felt, this is my first class, but I haven't felt this relaxed. Last time I was just relaxed when I came back from a visit to my family. You know, and for something to compare to that, it's got to be something right, something good, really.
Awesome. For those of you who have family or children, is that something that you'd want to share with your family, yoga, to turn them onto it?
I can't wait to do that with my grandkids. The whole house my whole house is going to start doing it.
I thought my wife was
why I wanted
this
this book.
She was like, oh, that's really good. I'm like, I'm tripping on it. She's like, no, that's good, that's good. She was kind of excited for me that I started. So I was kind of embarrassed to tell her, but when I told her, I was like, hey, I started yoga. She's like, that's pretty good for you. So she had heard some things about it and stuff. So, yeah. So it's not as bad as we think it is. I mean, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
They really don't look down on us that bad. Like
in the West, though, you know, in the West, yoga is taking on a whole different, like, genre, what it is. I mean, back in the day, in India, where the origins of yoga and all over the world, is about people that kind of like leave society to find out the nature of themselves and the nature of the world, and kind of like renounce everything. And in the West, it's particularly done by females, right? It's more associated with something women do. But in the East, it's actually something more men do. Finding women that do yoga is a lot less prevalent, you know, than men. It's interesting. It's interesting to me. It's hard to comprehend how that transformation exactly took place. You know, yeah.
Anybody want to offer any final thoughts or anything you'd like to share?
Thank you guys for coming, and thank the teachers, and thanks, and hope this class stays here for the people that's behind us.
Look, it's great that the teachers have brought this to you guys, but the reason this class continues is because you keep coming here, and every time people come and talk to you about what's going on, there's you guys are so articulate in the way you talk about the program, and I think what they're trying to do, you don't have to take it. What they're trying to do is they're trying to put this on a CDCR website to kind of bring some more awareness of yoga. So it's the way you guys have been able to like practice and articulate your experience that I think might really further this program. So we really appreciate you.
I was reading this book. I've noticed that in other states, most or all their prisons have it. I was reading it. He was reading the same book as me. It's all of their prisons have it. It's like, but out here, this is the first place I've seen that really does it.
I actually started in Florida in prison, so they had it there. And it was a great program. When I came here, I met Munchie, and he was starting it up, and I got right in it, right in the program. And I found it very relaxing all the time. Gives you a chance to decompress when you do yoga. It seems like it's strenuous when you're doing it, of course, but when it's over, it feels so good.
Yeah. My last thought on yoga is that it's enriched me both mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And you know, what more can you ask for? It's the whole package. That's what it's done for me. And yeah, I plan on taking this out to the world. I try and recruit anybody I can up in the building, and you know, I'll practice with them. And fortunately, I have some friends out on streets that do this too. And, you know, I'm gonna make it a lifestyle. And
yeah, and my closure with that was, I believe like this, that fads come and go. Yoga's been around for thousands of years. There's got to be something solid to go with that.
That's actually funny because the name of my program is Santana Yoga. It means eternal yoga because it goes on forever.
Santana Yoga.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Why couldn't you just use English?